wake me up. I love this song. Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertantonnyc, coming to you with your no frills, the voice commentary from a singer. Tonight is the final night of the voice knockouts. Miley Cyrus is still the key advisor for all the teams, and next week we move to the live shows while Blake has the only steal left. What happens? I'm gonna tell you right now. TeamAdam started this out with Brian Nhira versus Nate Butler. Brian did Grenade by Bruno Mars, and Miley was doing background for him while he was singing, and Adam said he has an explosiveness to him. Miley advised him not to hold back and go full out, and Adam told him to put a little bit of Michael Jackson in there. Nate did Let's Stay Together. And I just did this on Saturday night. Miley noticed that he wasn't putting his own spin on the song and told him to find his own ad-libs. Adam told him to sing more and develop more of a vibe. So Brian kicked it off with his beautiful tone, just caressing those notes and telling the story. He was really into the emotion of this song and used his whole body while he was performing. This is such a high-pitched song and he was making it seem so easy, but also he kept up that intensity. Adam and Pharrell stood for him. Nate was trying to bring on the smooth in this, but he was working hard to get there. He had a nice way of covering his tone, but it also came out just a little strained here and there. His body was pretty stiff, but that last riff was good. Adam stood for him. Blake said Brian poured gas on the stage and dropped a match on it and said Nate was badass. Xtina said Brian was alive and didn't know Nate had all that soul. Pharrell liked all the choices Nate took and gave Brian 10s across the board, calling it amazing. And Adam chose Brian Nhira, calling him ridiculous. TeamBlake had Brian Kennel versus Mary Sarah. Mary did You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man by Loretta Lynn. You see how I just got into the neck thing while I was saying that in title? I loved Miley making her little notes while Mary was singing to make sure she helped her better the right parts and told her to make a moment at certain points and to modern it up. Brittany did You're Still the One by Shania Twain, and Blake told her to dial back the vibrato. Miley told her to let the verse be an intro to the story, and she sang some notes for her to execute during the song. So Mary Sarah hit this with attitude and sucked me right into the story. She had a great twang and a bite at the top of her range, but kind of threw away the really low notes. I felt like she was living every word of this song though. Brittany purred her way into this song, and I like her voice, but it seemed like she may have had like a bit of a cold or something, because she sounded just like different to me. This was so laid back and didn't have the bite of Mary's choice, but she tried her best with it and she did okay. Xtina said it was a well-matched pairing and called Mary solid, but wanted more of a punch from Brittany. Pharrell said Brittany felt like one note while Mary had a lot of sass and favored her. Adam called Brittany subtle, but said she got overpowered by Mary Sarah, and Blake chose Mary Sarah because something special happens every time she gets on stage. And if you think something special happens every time I get in front of the camera, please make sure to thumb up the commentary and let me know that you're enjoying it. I thank you guys so much for just coming and watching and enjoying the show with me, and I thank you for your thumbs. TeamXtina was up next with Brian Bautista versus Trey. Brian did Sorry by Justin Bieber. Xtina told him to watch the pitch in the first verse, while Miley told him to not let the line before a big note suffer. Xtina also told him to squeeze in a falsetto note somewhere, and they were kind of swooning over him. Y'all, he's a girl. Trey did I Lived by One Republic, and Miley advised him to use a mic stand to start the song to help him with confidence and to get himself planted, and Xtina just gave him a note on a note in the beginning of the song. So Brian started it out soft and just talked to the audience in song, and then kicked it into the rhythm and had some nice melody changes that climbed into his upper range. He executed some nice upper chest notes and then launched into his falsetto, which was really great. But I really liked the way he hit that low. Every time he hit that down really low in his voice, he's like down. I can't even do it now because I can't remember, because I got so many other things going through my mind. But every time he hit that note way down there, he just like pounded it. I was like, all right, boy, that sounds good. Trey started with his eyes closed and seemed very nervous. His voice was shaky until he finally got to the chorus. Unfortunately, he kept closing his eyes and lost a lot of the connection with the audience and the camera. Pharrell told Brian he brought it and called him a good all-around singer and favored him. Adam said Brian's range was insane and mentioned some pitchy stuff from Trey. Blake said Brian had the advantage of experience, and Xtina chose Brian Bautista because he knows how to work it. TeamPharrell was up next with Celso versus Caity Peters. Abby did Rich Girl by Darryl and John Oates, and Pharrell and Miley told her to hold back a little on the riffs, and Miley suggested a moment to her and sang it for her. Pharrell also told her the song was about a vibe. Caity did Leave Your Lover by Sam Smith, and Miley came up with some melodic changes for her and sang a few of them for her, and Pharrell told her to project. So Abby gave a little wiggle as she was introduced and then started cursing. That's what I wrote. hit. She really seemed to catch the rhythm of this and varied it well with the more sustained parts. Some parts before the ending were a little messy, but she ended strong. This was personal for Caity though, and she had some wonderful rich low notes from the beginning. She also demonstrated good control over her upper range, but she really lives and breathes that middle to lower range. So gorgeous with the emotion and the sound of her voice. Adam noticed the strength and confidence of Abby while mentioning the smooth and unique colors of Caity. Blake mentioned that they both had strong lower registers, and Xtina called them both great singers but favored Caity. And Pharrell chose Caity Peters because she connected and gave more of an emotional offering. TeamAdam next had Jessica Crosby versus Laith Al-Saadi, and Jessica did Wake Me Up by Avicii. Wake me up. I love this song from the first time I heard it, and Miley said there was never a moment when she felt her unleash and wanted her to be more passionate. Adam told her she sounds fantastic but needs to put the cherry on top. Laith did In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel, and Adam wanted more grittiness and asked him to do it in the original key to bring more reach to it. Adam also advised him to really nail the first few notes on Gabriel's beats. Laith got to go first and nailed the beginning of this and was a little uncomfortable with the key, but his voice sounded great. This was really sounding epic to me in his voice with the gruff and the brightness. Jessica started this out well, and she got a little behind the beat while she was changing up the melody the first go around, but she got right back on before the chorus. Her voice sounded really clear and pristine. I don't think she held the big note that Adam asked her for in the rehearsal, and the ending was very laid back and sedate, very low down. I was like, is this a competition or is this not? You know, just nothing really sailed in what she was doing. Blake called Laith incredible. Pharrell said Laith gave the song 75 to 85% tonight and said Jessica showed more range. Xtina called Laith a super strong singer and said she was missing the magic somewhere along the line. And Adam chose Laith Al-Saadi because he has a big powerful voice and was more engaging. Then in a montage, Caroline Burns won over Catherine Ho, and it was her third montage. That was TeamAdam. And in the pimp spot, Team Xtina had Joe May versus Caity. Hey, oh Lord, no, I like both of them so much. You gotta put them up against each other. Joe did Earned It by The Weeknd, and Xtina told him to watch his accuracy after he comes off the runs and told him to work on the falsettos. Xtina also tried to get him to bring the beginning as strong as he did the end and told him to drop down to his knee or something during the song. Caity did Why Haven't I Heard From You by Reba McEntire, and they had nothing but compliments for her and said the song was made for her and then made her sing it again, and Xtina then told her to take off the mic at some point and live it. So Joe May came out swinging his hips on this and had some wonderful low notes before he showed off a little falsetto. He had some nice changes and was really intense as the lights went crazy and he went down on his knees till the end. Very dramatic performance. Caity had her guitar and her attitude. She hit this hard like she did in her audition, and she was really selling the song to the audience and laid well into the groove. She's got great sass and stage presence and worked the crowd and her vocal perfectly on this. Such a great growl too. Pharrell said Joe went to turbo boost and said Caity lit up when she stopped playing the guitar. Adam said Caity was the big surprise and said she destroyed it. Blake said Caity's personality filled the room and called Joe a revelation. And Xtina chose Caity Hay because she has a strong sense of herself and is a hard worker, but also because she's a country artist. And Blake stole Joe May, so it's a win-win. Yeah, we always like that, you know what I'm saying? We knew it was gonna happen. It was the last one. He's got the only steal left, and it's the last knockout of the night. We knew that was coming. Tomorrow night is a recap show, and I'll be watching the American Idol retrospective, which comes on from 8 until 9:30 on Fox. Are you gonna watch it with me? I am going to be on it. I think I'm going to be on it. I hope I don't end up on the cutting room floor. Oh no! This is Robert Anton. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. Make sure to thumb it up. I thank you so much. I'm out.